And we are live. Welcome to the NBA. I forget what I said yesterday. NBA strategy prep show, something like that. I don't know. I'll figure it out over the weekend. Josh Engleman here to break down some NBA Cup basketball because that is what we have going on today. 8-game slate on DraftKings. I did not look to see if FanDuel included this game or not. I'm going to assume that they did. Guess I should do that right now. Hit the like button while I do that. Subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell so you know when everything goes live. Follow me on Twitter at Josh Engleman. Alrighty. FanDuel did in fact include that game. Not that it matters. So, NBA Cup. We'll have to pay attention to team records, and then we're gonna just work our way through every team. Very simply. Hope you guys had some success on the 3-gamer last night. Definitely needed Jalen Johnson, that's for sure. That man hung a monster. Good for him. Evan Mobley, not so much. Fun slate. I'm ready for this one, though. I would have preferred a better set of games. Unfortunately for us, for this NBA Cup, we're getting some real crap, and that's a bummer. Miami and the Knicks, should have been good. Could have been really fun. Miami's obviously missing their 2 best players. No Jalen Brunson for the Knicks. Brooklyn, Orlando speaks for itself. Sixers, Pistons, we have no idea what that's going to look like. Portland and Houston is my preferred game for the day, and I guess most people's preferred because Charlotte and Milwaukee stinks, Sacramento and Minnesota stinks, Lakers and the Pelicans stink, Clippers and the Mavs stink, and the Warriors-Spurs game, which is interesting for sure, not on the main slate for DraftKings. Jay Hare, I was at that Jazz game last night. Awesome to watch Johnson in person. Then sneakily, Laurie went for 40. Sneakily. That's the one thing I get right. Laurie Markkinen. But yeah, I mean, Jalen Johnson he hung a number, man. What was the final count? Let me get that in front of my eyes again. I had it pulled up here. Don't want to get it wrong. 31, 18, and 14 with 7 steals. 88.6 fantasy points, assuming that's the same scoring system. Shoosh. That's a hell of a day, man. That's a hell of a day. Recesche getting 19 minutes, not what I expected, that's for sure. Probably has something to do with the fact that I didn't expect Jalen Johnson to play 41 minutes. Took down the 3K NBA swingman on FanDuel for 500. Barnes and Jalen Johnson and Nurk. Love it. It was 92.6 on DK. That's interesting. Rick Dinkins, good morning. I plan to sign up today. Any promo codes? Promo codes, no. But if you are a Sportsbook or Pick'em guy and you haven't signed up yet at one of the sites that you would be available to, there's a link in the description. If you sign up through one of those sports books or one of the affiliate links that you click on down bottom, why am I not just pulling this up? Sometimes I'm stupid. So, link in the description is going to take you here if you're interested. If you follow these 4 steps right at the top of the page and you pick any one of these offers, you'll get The Sims for a month for free. My bad, Rick. It's 8:05 and I've had 1 coffee, so the brain isn't firing as much as I would like it to on this Friday. Otherwise, we don't have any promo codes right now, but this could get you in for a month if it's appealing to you. But for right now, we don't have any promo codes running. And these stack up, just in case you've never heard me say this. So, maybe you wanted to get into pick'em sites. If you signed up for Better, Sleeper, and Underdog, you'd get 3 months free. Not bad. You guys ready to talk about this? Thinking about getting max next month. Will that give me an advantage on the higher entry tournaments? Yeah, unequivocally. How much that advantage is, your mileage may vary. But yes, it is going to be an increased product for you. Let's get into it, folks, because we got a lot to talk about. We got to get through 9 games. And per request from Twitter yesterday, I'm going to try to explain what I'm saying and slow down a bit. I've been doing this for so long, and that's not the right button. 0 fringe DNP. Okay. I've been doing this for so long, especially like versions of this. I mean, it's been about this time in 2017 is when I started doing it as a stream. I think that's right. Yeah, 27. It would have been 2017. So sometimes I move through this stuff too quickly because it's muscle memory, and I need to remember to slow this bad boy down. So we're going to start it off. Game number 1, Miami Heat at the New York Knicks. Heat 5.5 point dogs, 235 total. For Miami, we don't have Bam Adebayo. Obviously, we don't have Tyler Hero. And very obviously, we don't have Terry Rozier. I got to stop saying that during these shows. So I take the show after we're done, and I get the transcript of it. And then I run the transcript through a program to like take all my notes and put them together game by game. But the more I say player names that are irrelevant for the slate, the more I just put more crap I don't need in the file. So I need to just stop saying stuff that isn't important. But it's so hard for me to say things that aren't important because my entire life is saying things that aren't important. It becomes tricky. Anyway, that's the status for Miami. On the other side, when we get to it, spoiler alert, Jalen Brunson is out for today. So from an NBA Cup perspective, Miami is 1-0. The Knicks are 0-1. Obviously, if the Knicks lose, they're just out. If the Knicks win, this group starts to get kind of gross. It's very, very unfortunate for me that the Bulls are 1-1 now in this group, as I bet the Bulls to win said group. So I need them to run the table. We'll get to that later too. But either way, both teams are available to win their group. They got to win out one way or the other. So you could see an extra minute or two for the most real people. Let's start projecting minutes. And just so I can say this now, I think, and probably get this will cover everybody. The view that I'm looking at right now is just playing time. From left to right, it works most recent game for the team to 10 games ago. And this is just the minutes they played. If there's a star next to their name, it means they started. All I'm doing here is giving myself the guideposts to get like baseline minutes projected for these guys. And then these 3 middle columns are just different averages. Last 10, last 3, and then like a weighted average. So like the most recent games are closer. And again, this is just to like eyeball it. Because in the morning, I'm not super concerned whether the number's like 31, 32, or 33. I just want to pick 32 at that point in time and then keep it going, because we're going to move those around a minute either direction. We're going to pay attention to the prop markets. It's always going to be like a living thing, but deep diving the intricacies of 1 minute at the beginning aren't as important. So with these guys out lately, so obviously Bam has now missed the last 4. So that's sort of an interesting line in the sand right here. If we think about it from the last 4 games, since Bam has been out, they have run the exact same rotation and no one else has played. Same 5 starters, same 4 bench guys. No one else has stepped foot on the floor. So we do want to think about that, especially on an NBA Cup day. So Davion feels like a 33-minute dude. And we'll go the same direction for Norm Powell. Larson in the last 4, 27, 26, 27, 27. I know most people will probably think I should go 27 there. I'm actually going to go to 26. It's easier to have, like, these aren't normally distributed. Like, there's no reverse injury where you play 48 minutes and not 0. Andrew Wiggins, 33, 37, 33, and 36. So he'll get 34. And then Ware, 23, 28, 30, and 34 is interesting. I think we're going to go to like 27 here, but realistically, he could play upwards of... Actually, you know what? I'm going to go to 28. Realistically, well north of 30. Then it's just Drew Smith, Jaquez, Jovic, Fontecchio. They're the only other 4 dudes that have been playing. They've been running a tight 9-man rotation since Bam went down. So we get Drew Smith in for 17. We get Jaime Jaquez in for 30. We get Fontecchio in for 17. Leaves us 22 for Jovic. And that fills out the rotation perfectly. Now, do I think that Jovic number could be low? Yeah, but 19, 22, 26, and 31. I'm actually going to make Jovic 23 and Drew Smith 16. I think that'll be a little bit more helpful, but in terms of rates, that's it. It's very easy in terms of looking at Miami today. 9-man rotation, looking something like that. Shooting guard looks good. Bit of a hole at power forward, which is not where I would expect it to be. Sorry, Wig. It's not a great Miami team right now, if we're honest. So let's look at the Knicks side now. And then we could take a look at what the projections look like for these guys and if we need to tweak any rates just to start the day. So the only injured player for the New York Knicks right now, unfortunately, is Jalen Brunson. There's a lot of ankle sprains in the NBA right now. So this is a bummer. We don't want that. We wanted Jalen Brunson to play. Looks like expected starter is going to be Miles McBride. You could tell me it's Jordan Clarkson, and I'd believe it. But I'm going to assume it's Miles McBride for right now, mostly because I just think that Jordan Clarkson is next level cooked. But either way, McBride, Bridges, Anunoby, Towns, Robinson. That's what we're looking at for right now. Has Brunson missed at all? No, rarely does. Okay, so let's think about what Miles McBride does in his previous starts. So I'm just going to grab last year as well. Let's find our boy Miles. I can't imagine this is a big number. I can't really remember him starting a ton. I do remember him supposed to start and then getting scratched like in warmups. Was that last year? Feels like it was. All right, 11 starts since last year. 381 minutes. It's 34 and a half minutes per start. I do find it interesting that in those 11 games that McBride started, Bridges played 30 plus minutes. Towns played 30 plus minutes. I'm guessing Anunoby wasn't there for all of those games. But, you know, this feels like 28 at a minimum to McBride, if not 30. But they do have enough on the guard line that it probably doesn't have to be so crazy. I'm going to start with 28. And we'll see where we end up after that. All right, with no Brunson, I feel like everybody else probably gets another minute or so, especially in the cup with the Knicks and these guys. We'll go 34 to Bridges, 34 to Anunoby, 33 to Towns. And then I think all we could do is really like 17 to Mitchell Robinson. Landry Shamet is obviously going to see pretty good run here. Feels more like a 23, and I might have to take a lap back through these guys. Josh Hart, 26 makes the most sense, if not more. Now we get to Clarkson. That's got to be like 19 or 20 at a minimum. I don't know why Yabu's not playing more, but that's wild to me. Just give him 10. So at that moment, we're at 224. I've got 16 left. Stands to reason Tyler Kolek is going to get a rotation backup guard. If I give him 12, that's 236. Doesn't really take much more at this point. The question... I don't want to go too much higher to Jordan Clarkson. He still hasn't played more than 20 minutes. I'll take it to 20 for right now. It's early. And then we'll just do 3 spillover minutes onto Huck Porty. When I say spillover minutes, sometimes you make out your rotation, you project some minutes, and you've got a couple left over that you didn't give to anybody else. In general, depending on the score of the line of the game, there's a certain amount of minutes that should be allocated to the scenarios where either team is in a blowout, where the 5 bench guys each get a minute. If you want to just quick and dirty, 5 total minutes, 1 for each position, should be allocated to guys that have nothing to do with this game whatsoever. Your Dottie A's and your Kevin McCullers, those types. So that's why, in this case, they end up on Ariel Huck Porty for me. Ultimately, none of it matters because this is going to be from a DFS perspective. So as long as we're getting our real dudes most accurate, whether Huck Porty gets 3 minutes or I give 1 minute to 3 different dudes, I just need them to exist somewhere. That's why in our projections, you'll see at the bottom, you'll see a boatload of dudes projected for 0.8 minutes or 1.2 minutes. That's our blowout script of taking the regular minutes and adjusting them slightly to bring those guys back in. All right, from a rate perspective, I should be able to take a look at this pretty quickly and know what kind of changes we need to make. I'll start on the Knicks side. Actually, we need to take a look at these rates because now it's more important than Miles McBride starting. We want to look at games that Jalen Brunson did not play. And then I'm going to add another filter for Towns, Anunoby, Bridges, I don't think Hart matters. He's just not enough of a usage guy. All right. First and foremost, let's just see how many games were there that Brunson didn't play that the other 3 guys did. All right, 15. That's a pretty tasty sample. So we've got basically a 30% usage rate to Towns, a 23% usage rate for Anunoby, a 22% usage rate for Bridges. Shamet's nothing. Everybody else is nothing. So this is really about getting Towns, Anunoby, and Bridges correct from a shot perspective. And right now, I'm certainly a couple usage points low on Towns. That gets me to about 30. We want to get Anunoby to about 23. And I need to stagger these rotations slightly differently. Let's do that. All right, so Anunoby set. Only guy left I have to tweak now is going to be Bridges. We're trying to get him into that like 21, 22 range. That all looks pretty good. Now, am I off at all on free throw? So what I was just doing right now is just simply adjusting baseline usage rates because Jalen Brunson doesn't exist in this game. Obviously, the amount of shots that these guys take changes up pretty dramatically without Brunson around. And then I want to likely bump up Miles McBride's assist rate. So in this sample, McBride per 100 possessions, 7.6 assists. Now his baseline rates, he's normally like a 5 assist per 100 possession guy. But obviously with Jalen Brunson off the floor, that number changes pretty dramatically. So we want to bump that up. Does anybody else do more or less? Josh Hart, 10 assists per 100 possessions with Jalen Brunson off the floor. And then obviously the other guys are more of a probably not going to do as much scenario. So I'm going to bump Josh Hart's assist rate up as well. After that, I think we're good. My guess is Clarkson gets some extra shots. Those are happening just naturally on the bench. He jumped to a 26% usage rate, didn't have to do anything. Interestingly enough, at least from the prop market, I'm light on Josh Hart. At least per what I'm looking at here, Josh Hart's points prop looks to be somewhere around 11.5. And I'm 2 points below that. Now, it's not happening from a usage perspective. So it could be a minutes issue. So in that regard, I'm going to move Josh Hart up one additional minute, take one from Ariel Hukporti, just to try to narrow that. Now, that's only going to move like a half point, if anything, but that's fine. Similarly, Miles McBride is about 3.5 points lower than that prop. McBride in the time in this scenario with Brunson off, 17% usage rate. Now that's not what I have him for right now. And that makes it very easy to just simply tweak him so that I can get his usage rate a bit closer. And now we got it. Now he's much closer. Now I'm still under. I'm okay with that. Because Miles McBride and Mitchell Robinson are the low man on the totem pole for this one. So just looking at it on the surface, I do in fact like the under on Josh Hart's points. With the caveat being, if he played 32 minutes, I wouldn't be surprised. We don't really know how much he can handle. Let's take a quick peek at Miami just to see. Now, this becomes a trickier one because we don't really have much of a sample here with this particular team. So the only thing that we could really do is just take Bam off and hope for the best. This is the best we could do for rates so far this season, is just general Bam off. 23.5% usage rate for Jaquez, 22.5% for Wiggins, 29 for Norm Powell. So right now, we're about 28 for Powell, which I feel pretty good about. We're at 22.5 for Wiggins, which I feel good about. We're at 23.5 for Jaquez, which I feel good about. Kind of like the over on Norm Powell's points just at first glance. Because he's going to be able to take every shot he wants. And right now, I think we have him projected pretty well. And this isn't like the great... I mean, I guess technically the Knicks defense is probably a little bit better today when you swap out Brunson for anybody else, but I don't really have anything else I want to tweak here. I think this is a pretty good start. I wish that it wasn't 825, but I thought that was a pretty thorough breakdown. I'm going to try to move faster, and there will be easier situations here in the future. But let's look at game number 1 and see if anything stands out DFS-wise. Towns is 9,400. I got him with the highest value of anybody in this game right now. So, yeah, $9,400 Towns with no Brunson and no Bam Adebayo on the opposite side. Sign me up. Norm Powell, I think, looks very reasonable at 7,100 if you want to be on the opposite side. Clearly, there's a little bit of value coming into some of these other dudes. Miles McBride, obviously, at 4,800. Isn't showing up as like the most overwhelming value for me right now. But I want you guys to remember, I am mildly pessimistic with his initial minutes projection at 28. Realistically, that could be upwards of 30, 31, or 32 by the time we get to lock, which would take him from good value to elite value. I just don't want to overcommit right now. Best I can tell, Karl Anthony Towns is going to be a pretty popular guy today. Similarly, I don't get the sense I'd have a ton of Jaime Jaquez. Norm Powell, though. Norm Powell's interesting. But yeah, I got Ware and Davion Mitchell looking pretty nice as well. Am I a little over on? It's not that's a question for later. Let's go to game number 2. I got to remember that I got to get this thing done in 90 minutes. All right, this one's a real turd. It's the Brooklyn Nets. 14.5 point underdogs in Orlando. 224 total. Just for reference, 224 total is the second lowest total on the slate behind Clippers and Mavs. Mavs at 219. We also have a game at 240 and a couple 230s. This is a very unappealing game. For Brooklyn, Ben Surratt out, Cam Thomas out, Danny Wolf out, Highsmith out, Nolan Traore out. Expected starting lineup, Igor Demon, Terrence Mann, Michael Porter Jr., Noah Clowney, and Nick Claxton. Day'Ron Sharpe is probable for this one. We are going to spend minimal time tweaking these rates and projecting this Brooklyn team because of obvious reasons. Now, in the last 3 games since the Igor Demon started 23 minutes, 25 minutes, 28 minutes. When these games are competitive, he can be out there. Realistically, I think 25 makes some sense because this shouldn't be competitive. Orlando is 1-0 in the group, and they won by 13. They have not played Brooklyn, who they play today. They might try to beat them by 1 million to give themselves some wiggle room. Brooklyn obviously is out if they lose. Just go ahead and assume they're out. Terrence Mann got to 32 minutes last time out because competitive games get their real guys real minutes. I don't think that we can assume we would do that, but 27 for Mann makes a ton of sense. MPJ does play 30 plus minutes. He's the only one that does with any real consistency. I think 31 makes some sense here. This is a terrible matchup for him. Noah Clowney, since he moved into the starting lineup, 32, 30, 31, 35, and then no one really played in 2 games ago because they got the shit kicked out of them. That feels like a 29 or a 30 pretty easily. I'll go 29. Hey, Riggs. Dog just showed up. Wife left this morning with the puppy. Got the old man dog with me here. He was downstairs eating a bully stick, enjoying his Friday. Off to a great start for him. I guess we're going 30 to Claxton. Every one of those feels like they're a minute too high. We get Day'Ron Sharpe in for 15. 16. Zaire Williams gets 21. Tyrese Martin gets 19. Drake Powell gets 22. Jalen Wilson gets 16. And congratulations to EJ Liddell and Tyson Etienne. You both get 2 minutes worth of spillover time. Huzzah. Enjoy it, dudes. I don't know what is happening to those projected rates right now, but we're going to go ahead and pull every one of those usage rates and give that a look-see in a sec. What is broken right here? Did I type somebody's shit in wrong? What are these? Is this just how bad it's going to look? Why do they have 0 rebounds? Let's reset every single rate on here because something's weird. It might be in Orlando. Oh, I know why. I'm so stupid. It's because Orlando has no minutes. Jesus. You can tell it's Friday and I've had 1 coffee, guys. My brain is not firing the way that I want it to. Big news here for Orlando that we haven't talked about yet. And it's really funny to think about because they're still 14.5-point favorites. But Paolo Banchero is out for this one. Left groin strain. We're probably not going to see him for like 2 weeks at a minimum. But yeah, no Paolo. So that is obviously going to change this team up a bit. I think now, understand what I'm about to say. I don't mean that they're better without Paolo Banchero, but I think they're going to look better without Paolo Banchero because everybody's just going to slide into a different role that's better for them. Or like maybe not better for them, but like it recalibrates their offense the right way. They're obviously not better without Paolo Banchero, but you know what I mean. So I'm very interested to see what these guys end up looking like now. Expectation, Tristan da Silva into the starting lineup in place of our boy. We're certainly going to have to take a look at usage rates for Orlando with Paolo not there. Mitchell Mayo, I do not agree with you. S&P, if you fucking pop up here out of the ether, I know you're not going to agree with me either. All right, let's hit these minutes for Orlando. Jalen Suggs had been on a bit of a minutes limit. Last 2 games, 29 and 26. I have to go to 27 on Suggs, especially with Paolo gone here. I hope he still looks good. Desmond Bane, 34 minutes. Doesn't get any easier than that. Franz Wagner, 36. Doesn't get any easier than that. Haven't had a Tristan da Silva start in a while. I'm going to go 26 as a placeholder. All right, Brandon, that's an even worse take, as weird as it sounds. The only thing he can only be that guy. That's the thing. Because he's obviously immensely talented. When that guy gets it, like 6'10" with guard ball skills and can score from anywhere is it just is the best thing that exists, save for like your Wemby types. To me, Paolo's more of a mental thing than it's clearly not a physical thing. So here's the weird thing. I don't think he's good now. But the only thing he can be is that guy. Does that make sense? Like, he's either not good or he's the guy. I don't think there's a middle ground for him. Scott Hughes was top 50 last night. Main contest and late pivot from Johnson to Markkanen to try to take down with less ownership and didn't cash. Oh, shit, Scott. That started off as a much more fun story. That sucks. Yeah. Like the realized version of Paolo Banchero is a perennial first team All NBA guy because when it works, he's one of the most unguardable things that will exist. His skill set is unteachable. Can he convert raw talent to realized talent? We don't know. We'll see. Look, he is so young. We got to remember that. He is 23 years old and he turned 23 2 days ago. But like, last year, plus 1.4 offense, plus 0.3 defense. If that gets to like 2.5, that's good. The goal, obviously, is that 2.5 is like a 4.5 or 5. And he can do that as like a small ball 5. Oof. Scary. All right, Wendell Carter Jr. is just going to get 30 here. That's what we're going to do. Anthony Black. That feels like a 27 since there's no Paolo. Yeah, I'm more of a Franz guy than a Paolo guy as well. But like, I don't think Franz could ever be the number one creator on a high-level playoff team, and I do think that Paolo Banchero can be that. Like, to me, Franz Wagner is like the evolutionary Chris Middleton in my brain. I want him to be like the best number 2 dude. All right, Goga Batadze gets 16. That one's pretty easy. Tyus Jones just gets minimal. That's 8. Feels like this is the time where John Isaac just gets like more minutes now that they're here to go around. Like that mostly concludes the guys that play experience. Noah Penda was getting a little bit of love. I mean, this is Brooklyn, so he probably gets a little bit of love anyway. And we'll sneak some minutes onto Jet Howard. All right, now this is the part that gets interesting. Let's research, because we have a pretty sizable sample of these guys. Now, obviously, it doesn't contain Bane, but we do have a lot of did not play Paolo Banchero games. So, since the beginning of last year, games that Paolo didn't play. I mean, to be fair, John Isaac is a generational defender. It's not like he didn't do that. He just doesn't do it in volume or ever now. All right, that's 36 games. So let's get it where Paolo didn't play, but Suggs and Franz both did. Now that should greatly limit this sample. Probably cut it in 8. Okay, 19. That's more than I thought it would be. All right, in this sample, Franz has a 33% usage rate. Jalen Suggs got to 25. And then Mo Wagner got to 26. And I think that's helpful here because I think we could use Mo Wagner as a bit of a proxy, and Cole Anthony for that matter, to like recreate Bane in the aggregate. That kind of makes me feel better about the Franz and Suggs usage rates. Now, just baseline, without me making any adjustments, Franz got to 26. So I need to go much higher. I want to get this to like 30 or 31 probably, realistically. Travis, it's hard to say. The dude is just never healthy. Wow, if I take Franz Wagner up to 29% usage, I am miles ahead of his points prop. Now, I still have to deal with Bane and Suggs. because I'm going to want to get Bane in and around that like 25, 26 mark, and that's not where we're at right now. And what did I say Suggs was? 25? That I do feel like will come down a bit. I think like something like this is going to look pretty good. But that also puts me miles ahead of the points prop for Franz Wagner and Desmond Bane. Now, that's not something that I like to be out of the gate. But at the same time, this is a matchup against Brooklyn in the NBA Cup, and they want to put their foot on their throat, and Brooklyn stinks. What did Tristan Da Silva and Wendell Carter Jr. do in these scenarios? Da Silva, 13% usage. Wendell Carter Jr., 13% usage. I've got them at 13 and 11, miles under their points props. All right. I have Wendell Carter Jr. in for 30 minutes. In these samples, Wendell Carter Jr. averaged 5.8 twos and 3.9 threes per 100 possessions. 5.8 and 3.9. So he takes 9.7 shots per 100 possessions in those scenarios where Paolo was off the floor. I got him in for 30 minutes. So that's the equivalent of taking 6 shots from the field. And currently I have him projected for 4.5 and 2.5. So 6.8. Let's have this conversation right now. We are miles under the Wendell Carter Jr. points prop. But based on the rates that we've seen when Paolo Banchero's not here, I'm currently projecting him for more shot attempts than that. And we're 3 short. I'm just going to say it. If you want to bet this right now, I would advocate for overs to Desmond Bane and Franz Wagner and unders to Tristan Da Silva and Wendell Carter Jr. I don't think it fits the data. All right, 15 twos for Franz Wagner and 6.2 threes. That's 21.2 shot attempts in 36 minutes. We'll do the same story for him. He takes 20.4 twos and 9.6 threes. So almost exactly 30 shot attempts. I got him in for 36 minutes. So we're talking about 22.5 shot attempts for the game. Again, I got him at 21. Over Franz, over Bane, under Da Silva, under Wendell Carter Jr. Get to the Orlando side. Get to the Chapa as well. Assist rate for these guys, Franz to 9, Suggs to 6, Anthony Black 8.5. Gotta bump up Franz Wagner's assist rate here. And Anthony Black's. All right. That's Orlando. Only thing I need to do for Brooklyn, as best I can tell, is just get Michael Porter Jr. set up. So I'm just going to get Brooklyn here quickly, take that off, and then get Cam Thomas did not play in the game, just so I can get everybody's rates lined up in front of my eyes. 3 games, 30% usage rate for MPJ. Pretty much only Noah Clowney maintains any real usage after that. So we've got Porter to 29, Clowney to 22, Huzzah. I'm just going to let that sit for Brooklyn. Not the team we need to spend time on today. So let's look at these guys, because I think Orlando is obviously going to look incredible. All right, Suggs at 5,100. Remember, I'm going to be miles ahead of these. These are my personal takes right now. I'm going to be heavy Jalen Suggs, Franz Wagner. They both look amazing. Suggs at 5,100, Franz at 8,500. I think Clowney at 4,800 looks really good. I think Bane looks great at 7K. Igor Demon for value, 4,400 point guard. Sign me up. But I love the Orlando side with no Paolo. 45 minutes in, 2 games down. Hopefully we can find a slightly better pace than that. Hit the like button if you're here. I'm going to take a sip of Gatorade. My throat hurts. Chris Longo. Nice, man. It's good to hear. Philly. 76ers, 5.5 point dogs in Detroit, 232 total. Let's start with the cup. Philly is 0-1. Detroit is 1-0. If Philly loses, they're out. If Detroit loses, this group gets insane, and Orlando is looking like they're going to run away with it. VJ Edgecombe, questionable for today. Joel Embiid, out. Jared McCain, out. He's with the G League team. Paul George, not back yet. So from a playing time perspective and from a everything perspective, this should be pretty easy. Maxey, Edgecombe, Oubre, Watford, Drummond, expected starting lineup here. This is an NBA Cup game, so I am clearly typing 40 minutes for Tyrese Maxey. He'll do it in any other game, so kind of have to do it. I'm going to go 35 to Edgecombe. We're going to go 36 for Kelly Oubre. Trendon Watford in his 3 starts, 37, 25, and 21. Embiid played that first one as well, which is weirder. I mean, this feels like a 25 or a 26. And then Drummond, in these 2 recent starts, got north of 30 minutes. Hard to want to go to even 33. I think 30 is realistically the best that I can do here. And even then, 29 kind of makes me feel a little bit better. They have not been using Bona nearly as much. Clearly, Quentin Grimes is just going to get the full allotment of minutes. I'll go 29 now. 30 is very realistic. We're going to have to get Bona probably something like 12 to 13. Jabari Walker also gets like 10. Still have 22 to hand out. Now, we did get 27 minutes out of Justin Edwards last time out, which is a bit of a jump. Can't do that, but I can give him 16. And then I'll spill 6 over onto Eric Gordon. So that's our Philly rotation. Not a very good basketball team right now, that's for sure. Not a very good basketball team. Kind of gross. We will, in fact, take a look at Philly rates just to keep ourselves sane. And obviously, did not play in the game. Joel Embiid is the main qualifier for this one. 5 games, Maxey, 31.5% usage rate. And then everybody else is just right around 20. Oubre, Edgecombe, Grimes a little higher. But nothing gets too extreme after that. So we just got to get Tyrese Maxey to around 30. Watford and Drummond. I want to look at those guys too. Drummond 12, Watford 20. Let me pull that. All right, we got Maxey right about where we need him from a usage perspective. Let's get the Pistons so we could actually look at these stats, though. And I am not going to spend a single second micromanaging the Pistons side of this one. And you'll see why in a sec. Asar Thompson is out. Tobias Harris is out. Still no Sasser. Still no Ivy. But more importantly, Q-Tag Cade, Q-Tag Beef Stew, Q-Tag Jalen Duren. It should be very obvious that we're not going to, dig into this. Because that's, 100 minutes that we don't know? So let's just get the minutes projected to the Pistons and go about our business here, because we clearly just need more info. 5.5 point line implies that at least one of these dudes is not playing. Now, I'm going to go ahead and get Cade in for 37. We're going to get Duncan Robinson in for 31. We're going to get Ron Holland in for 26. We're going to get Beef Stew in for 29. And we're going to get Jalen Duren in for 32. Karis LeVert just seems to play 21 minutes a night, basically. So we're going to get him in for 21 minutes. We're going to get a lot of these guys moving back out of the starting lineup. So someone like Javonte Green, probably going to go in for like 24 minutes with no Tobias Harris and no Asar. But like the Danish Jenkins minutes, they're not the same thing anymore. You know, we give Paul Reed like 8 backup generic stuff. How long has Toby been out? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, so 6 games. So like we could do like not 48 minutes to Bobby Klintman. Oh, I am way late. I'm going to have to start slinging some minutes around here. When did Asar go down? Okay, so we had the no LeVert, no Beef Stew game 2 games ago. So let's bump Paul Reed to 10. Klintman to 10. I think Javonte Green is more like a 26. And now we have 18 left. So I'm going to go 9 Lanier, 9 Danish Jenkins, but I don't think we're going to be getting to the depths of Detroit's bench. And more importantly, this doesn't matter because there's 100 minutes questionable today. Rick Durkin, how does Barlow being back change the rotation? That's a good question, actually. Yeah, realistically, he's probably going to move back in, huh? I don't know. At the very least, I'm going to take those Eric Gordon minutes and give them to him. And let me think about it. Realistically, I think Watford's ahead of him. The question is Barlow ahead of Bona? And he just might be. I don't think it matters from a DFS perspective today, but it's something to pay attention to. I like that shout, Rick. Thank you. All right, so projection-wise, I'm happy with where Maxey is. Drummond gets no usage. That is perfect. The rest of these guys all feel about where they should be. I got no tweaks. Quick peek to assist rate. Maxey's at 10.5. Grimes is at 8.9 per 100 possessions. Maxey's going up here. And Grimes is going way up here. Definitely a little heavy on Maxey. Not mad about it in the slightest. He averages 25 shots in those 40 minutes. Or that's what I have him projected for at least. At least in these 5 games. 18.8 and 11.4 is 30. He plays 40 out of the 48 minutes. That's 25 shots. And what did I say I had him at? 25 on the dot. What are we talking about here? It's exact. We're over. It's a good spot for Tyrese Maxey. Go ahead and get it. Not as fond of Drummond. All right, well, let's look at the Philly projection side of this one. I'm not going to pay too close attention to anything coming out of the Pistons. Okay, Drummond at 5,700. Let me take a quick peek at his rebounds just to make sure, because I think he's been rebounding a little lighter. 12.5 defensive rebounds per 100. 5.5 offense. So 5.5 and 12.5. Just want to make sure I'm not over that. Oh, I'm way over on the O-Reebs. Let's cut Drummond a bit there. All right, he should look a little lighter than what we just showed. Yeah, there we go. Still good, though. Watford, okay, very risky now that they're bringing in all of these, like, rando power forward dudes. Travis, I don't know how much Watford will get him cut. I think Watford's pretty cleanly ahead of him. Drummond or Wendell Carter Jr.? At least for what I have here. Drummond by a decent bit. Strikes me as the type of game that Wendell Carter Jr. might not play in the fourth quarter. All right, we continue on. Portland and Houston. Hit that like button. Portland, 8.5-point dogs in Houston. 235 total. Nothing crazy here. Like same stuff as normal for Portland. No Blake Wesley, Thibault, Scoot. For Houston, no Dorian Finney-Smith. Same as usual. So let's get these rotations done. I'll just do the Houston side since we're here. And standings-wise, Portland 1-0 in the group. Houston 0-1 in the group. Lost to San Antonio. So if Houston loses here, they're out. Obviously, Portland looking for this one. So pretty big one right now. Amin Thompson's playing 36 minutes a night. Josh Okogie's playing 24. Kevin Durant at 35. Jabari Smith at 31. And Alperen Şengün at 35. Reed Shepherd minutes picking up lately. Averaging 26 in his last 3. We'll take him to 25. Steven Adams plays about 20 minutes a night. Tari Eason plays about 22 minutes a night. Actually, we'll make that 23. Only 11 to go. Very, very, very easy team to project rotationally. 8 to Clint Capella. 3 to Aaron Holiday. And that is your Houston rotation. Let's hop back to Portland so these rates pull through correctly. These guys are going to look very similar when we do this. Alrighty, we're going to go 35, Drew Holiday. 29, Shaedon Sharpe. 35, Toumani Camara. 35, Deni Avdija. 26, Donovan Clingan. Jeremy Grant. This feels like a 28. Yeah, 28. I mean, Chris Murray is just 22, and that doesn't get much easier. Feels like we get a little bit of Time Lord City Sissoko split. Go 12, 13, 5 minutes to go. 3 and 2. Ryan Rupert, Dwap Reith. Sorry, Yang Hen Sen. All right, we're in. Now, I don't expect to have to move these rates around too much. I think we're going to be about where we need to be for both of these teams because nothing's any different than the last time that I looked at them. So anything that I had set previously is probably pretty close. However, I do see that I'm quite a bit low on Kevin Durant right now. So I'm just going to pull Houston's rates and take a peek. Houston started Durant, Şengün, Amin Thompson. As long as those three guys are there, that's all I need to see. Şengün, 26% usage. Durant, 26% usage. Amin Thompson, 21. Right now, 26, 26, 22. Over Amin Thompson. Okay, that's not bad. No, we're good. I'm just slightly too high on Amin Thompson. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, I'm certainly like the points prop on Amin Thompson today. 13 shot attempts, 2 shot attempts. That's 15-6 in 36 minutes. He's at 9 and 3.4. So 9. And I said, wow, why is he getting so many shot attempts? Oh, that's way too high then. That's got to come down dramatically. 10, 8, and 2. Wow, I am like dramatically over projecting his shot attempts in a way that makes very little sense to me. That should be quite a bit closer. 10 and that's still 2 shot attempts high. I'm going to take a minute from him too, I guess. All right, let's look at this one. Portland, Houston. $4,200 Reed Shepherd is not the worst thing in the world to put your eyes on for value today. Point guard, shooting guard eligibility. Şengün looks solid, tough matchup. Durant looks solid, tough matchup. Durant's not going to get any ownership, I wouldn't expect. Klingen sneaky at 5,100. Probably Jabari Smith a little sneaky too, as well. Hard to have a priority here, but that's a bigger total. Yeah, Mitchell Mayo said, surprise this game is a 235 total. Yeah, this is definitely a more defensive matchup. That's for sure. Just out of curiosity, I mean, I got the total at 229, and I'm right on the Houston number. So, Mitchell, I think you and I are on the same page here that the under is something I'd like to pay attention to. Put a pin in this one. Let's look at it again on Monday. Let's see if this total closes at like 233 or something. All right, before I keep going, got to remind you guys, where did it go? There it is. Tails. We talk about it a lot. I'm going to talk about it for right now for a sec. If you're ever looking for bets for whatever sport you're looking for, or pick'em cards, or even DFS coverage, we think you guys should check out Tails. If you go to OddsShopper.com, you can see it at the top of the screen and click on Tails. You could download the app, which is what we want you guys to do. It's basically just a curated place to find all of that information. You can follow individual guys. You don't have to pay $1 to do that. It's all completely free. If you want to actually subscribe to guys and get their paid picks, you can do that. Guys like DK DFS, who does the deeper dive with me, or guys like Eric Lindquist, who literally works here, but also has a package that you can subscribe to, fully tracked on Pickett as well, so you can see his results. You can do all of that on the Tails app, and all you have to do is download it. App Store for Apple or Google Play. And if you can, leave us a review when you do it. These things really help us. If we can grow this app more, we can put more features and bring more things to you. And it's already just free. So If you can do that, if you could help us out, we'd really appreciate it. Link in the description. Charlotte and Milwaukee. LaMelo Ball back. He's probable for this one. Still no Brandon Miller, Grant Williams, Josh Green, Salon. Also, no Ryan Kalkbrenner. Still out for personal reasons. He had a baby. Well, his wife did. Liam McNeely is questionable. That should not matter to anyone. Expected starting lineup of LaMelo Ball, Colin Sexton, Con Knipple, Miles Bridges, Moussa Diabate. I'm just going to put this out there right now. They should not be starting Colin Sexton in this alignment. That should 100% be Zion James. Do not be surprised to see that change. But whether or not they do it today or soon, it's not going to be Colin Sexton long term. It'll be LaMelo Ball, or it'll be Zion James. Let's project minutes here. And obviously, we're going to have to look at some usage rate stuff with LaMelo back. LaMelo has missed the last 5. I'm just going to give him 32 minutes. I think he either just plays normal or doesn't. Oh, I forgot. Charlotte and Milwaukee. Charlotte actually on a back-to-back. They get OKC tomorrow. Fun times for them. They're 0-1. Milwaukee's 1-0. Obviously, Milwaukee is looking to kick the shit out of them there. And Milwaukee just doesn't lose in the NBA Cup. Let's not forget that. All right, Sexton. I don't know, 28? Knipple, 33. Miles Bridges, 35. Wait. Kalkbrenner ended up... Okay. All right, Diabate in the start. I looked this up and I already forget it. That's annoying. I think it was 28 minutes per start. I think Eric and I looked this up. I think it was Eric and I. Where the fuck is Moussa Diabate? There he is. Moussa Diabate in starts since last year. 8 games, 227 minutes, 28 minutes. I'll give you 27 since it's a different year. Don't trust it. I mean, it seems like Mason Plumlee's going to have to play in that universe. Let's give him 17. I think, something in the 22 range for Zion James makes sense. 23 for Trey Mann. I don't think we worry about Antonio Reeves. I guess we do sort of worry about Liam McNeely. That's 12. We have 11 left. I'm just going to split them between Simpson and Connaughton. Now let's project the Bucks. Again, 9.5 point favorites, 238 total. Bucks also on a back-to-back. They've got the Lakers tomorrow. Giannis is probable. No KPJ, no Taurean Prince, as we know. But business as usual here for the Bucks. So we get Ryan Rollins in for 32. Get Gary Trent in for 28. AJ Green in for 27. Giannis in for 34. Miles Turner in for 30. Portis for 21. Cole Anthony for 17. Kyle Kuzma for 26. Amir Coffey for 10. And just a bunch of random dudes at some point for the final 15. Probably need to go a bit higher on Kuzma, actually. How long has Prince been out? 4 games. Yeah, we got to take Kuzma to 29. And I got to take Bobby Portis to 23. Coffee to 12. Now I have 8 left. That's perfect. We'll split that between Jericho Sims and Gary Harris. Easy peasy. All right, let's check out rates. So at the moment, we've got Giannis at 35% usage. Ryan Rollins at 23. Miles Turner at 23. Stands to reason that's all pretty well accurate. So let's do when Giannis, Turner, and Ryan Rollins all start. Giannis's usage rate in that time, 9 games, 35. Ryan Rollins, 21.5. Miles Turner, 18. Okie dokie. Miles Turner, your usage rate can go away. That's much better. Ryan Rollins, your usage rate can go away. That's a little bit better, but not where we want it. 21 gets me to 21. Now that's quite a bit better. Now, what is Miles Turner's rebounding this year? 8.5 defensive, 2 offensive. Much better. What's Giannis's? Probably something stupid. 10-8 and 5-8. Sheesh. All right, that feels a little bit better. And now assist rates. That's all I need. Giannis 9, Rollins 9, Cole Anthony 12 off the bench. Good, good, good. All right, wherever I have these projections, they look good. Now, this is very interesting, and I'd like to point this out. I really like the rebound props for Milwaukee, and I think that makes a ton of sense when you think about the rebounding situation that's going to be going on for Charlotte now. Good rebounding matchup for the Milwaukee Bucks. All right, we got to look at Charlotte rates, and obviously this needs to be done with games where LaMelo Ball started. And let's make sure that Brandon Miller is off. I'm going to ignore the Kalkbrenner piece. I don't think that matters as much, and I'll kill our sample. LaMelo with a 31% usage rate. Miles Bridges at 24. Sexton 23, Mann 25, Knipple 18. I want to be able to see that at the same time, so we're going to move these windows around. Huzzah. All right, I could shrink that a bit. So right now we've got LaMelo at 28. That is going to be untenable. We got to get him to north of 30 right away. That should be good. Should be sitting. Oh, I want to look at this ugly picture. All right, 31. Perfect. Actually, let's be a little bit more pessimistic about that. Now we're perfect. 30 and a quarter. Sexton sitting at 23. I think that's about where he was. It is. Don't have to touch that. Knipple down to 16. We might need to bump him. Bridges at 22. Might need to bump him. Moussa Diabate. Don't have to care about him in any way in a starting lineup. And then Trey Mann's at 24. This is mostly good. It is under-repping Con Knipple by quite a bit. If I lock Con there, I think that ends up getting us where we want to be. But now that undersells Bridges, which is eventually going to undersell Sexton, which I actually don't mind. Bridges to 24. Interesting. Close enough. All right, I'm okay with this now. Just have to take one peek at LaMelo's assist rate, which is 14 and a quarter assists per 100 possessions. That dude, man. Just diming people up like crazy. Sexton at 8. Cool. LaMelo shooting more free throws? I think he is. I If he is, I've already changed it. Still very light on his assists, it seems, but I like these projections now for Charlotte. That's much better. Let's look at this game now. See if anything stands out. And it does. So Mason Plumlee's flat 3K, and if I have him at 17 minutes, he's a stupid value. I'm going to take 1 minute off of Mason Plumlee because I don't want that to be a thing right out of the gate for today if it doesn't have to be. God, it's 9:16 already. Where's the day going? Either way, Mason Plumlee, think about it. But the real one is Moussa Diabate, 4,200. Massive value, going to be popular. Hard to get away from. You know, that sort of value on a day like today is going to be pretty important. And it looks good. So keep your eye on it here. Moussa Diabate, 4,200. And obviously, if you want to pay 11.7 for Giannis, that's great. I don't like much else for Milwaukee. We continue on our merry way to Sacramento. The Kings are 12.5-point underdogs in Minnesota. 240 total on this one. Domantas Sabonis is questionable. Malik Monk is questionable. Keegan Murray still out. I feel like I haven't projected or talked about the Kings like all week. Weird. All right, expected starting lineup: Westbrook, Levine, DeRozan, Nick Clifford, Domantas Sabonis. Westbrook, I don't know, 29. Levine, 34. DeRozan, 31. Nick Clifford, 29. Sabonis, 31. I don't like any bit of that. Hot take of the day: Kings win this game. No way. I hope not. Schroeder, 26. Weird spot. Malik Monk, 24. Prestigious Chua, 19. Obviously, if Sabonis ends up out, we get crazy value in this game. Keon Ellis, 16. Fuck, that's everything. I mean, those go to Eubanks, I guess. Or it goes to Eubanks, I guess. That all seems about as close to yes as possible. That. Okay. We're going to have to take a look at their rates, unfortunately. Let's get Minnesota done. And Minnesota's easy. No Terrence Shannon. Otherwise, this should be pretty normal. DiVincenzo minutes. 30. Not 300. That's wrong. Anthony Edwards. Played 38 last time out. Feels, I don't know, 34 seems like it'd be hard to not be correct for Anthony Edwards. Jaden McDaniels gets 31. Julius Randle gets 32. Rudy Gobert gets 32. Naz Reid gets 24. Mike Conley gets 18. Jalen Clark gets 16. Dillingham gets 12. And then we'll split 11 between Bones Highland, Jean Berger, and Leonard Miller. I feel like I haven't talked about Minnesota either. All right, rates. All right, I don't have any of the starters locked up for rates right now for Minnesota, so that's good. What the hell is Anthony Edwards' real usage rate this year? Because whatever that calculation is showing me is not right. Minnesota starting Gobert, Randall, McDaniels, Edwards. Don't care who the point guard is. 5 starts. Ant. 33% usage. I got him in right now at 30.5. All right. Well, that's an easy fix. Perfect. What is Randall in this scenario? 27. Ooh, too high. Interesting. That'll work. And then it should just be minimal bullshit usage for everybody else. Gobert, nothing. DiVincenzo, barely anything. Nas, 18. Nas Reed having a low usage this year is quite interesting. What's McDaniel's usage rate so far this season? 21.5. Yeah, he is being negatively impacted here. Let's go ahead and bump him up a little bit. He's participating more. There we go. Honestly, I think I'm going to have to go pew, and then get DiVincenzo locked in here for his... He's at 16? Yeah, he's going to need a little help. Perfect. Yeah, it really nerfs Gobert, but I don't care. That's perfect right there. That's damn perfect. Ooh, that's way too high. That's way less damn perfect. Nah, that's perfect. All right, how many free throws is Ant shooting this year? 9.3 per 100 possessions. Okay, not a big change. That's fine. Randall, 9.9. Do I have that bumped? Sure don't. Yeah, that's going to be a nice bump to Julius Randle there. Yeah, I'm light on Ant right now, but I don't regret it. 19 shot attempts. Realistically, I could give him another minute. I'm pretty comfortable with what we have right now. That's Minnesota. Let's look at Sacramento. This is a disaster. So let's just make sure that we have all these same idiots that are playing. Russ, DeRozan, Schroeder, Levine, Sabonis, Monk. And let's say at least 5 of those guys played in the... 5 of those 6 played? That should cover us. That gets Levine's usage to 24. DeMar to 21. Russell Westbrook to 24. So everybody's just in that low 20s range. That's curious. 23, 23, 22 to DeMar DeRozan, 21 to Sabonis. I mean, that's kind of what's happening. Levine only has a 24% usage rate when those guys are all around. Does Nick Clifford have nothing? Would that make sense then? Yeah, 12-6. Yeah, I'm gonna let that just come out in the wash. Way under on some of these dudes, but it makes sense to me. I'm not disproportionately high on Schroeder. Am I too high on Monk in some way? Yeah, I'm gonna have to cut Monk. That's it. Okay. I don't hate that in any way. Russell Westbrook assist rate is the only thing I need to look at. It is 9.5 per 100 possessions. I've got him at 8.8, so I'll give him a little bit of a bump, but nothing too crazy. Way under on his assist prop. Line is 12.5. I got it exactly at 12.5. Let's see what we like in this one. $6K Rudy Gobert. And that could look a lot better if Sabonis ends up out, because Rudy Gobert will dominate the paint. That could be a massive rebounding day if Sabonis ends up out. Keep an eye on that. But kind of like Rudy Gobert here. I really don't like much of anything though. Not a lot of great value. These aren't great price tags. With Ant having missed a couple games, Minnesota's a little overinflated. We keep it moving. We're 90 minutes in, folks. We got a couple more games to go. One way or the other, we're out of here at 10 o'clock. But let me hit you guys with the schedule for the rest of the day. Don't have it. So I'm going to guess. NFL Strategy Show coming up next. 10 a.m. Eastern Time. Setting you guys up for the weekend. I will be back at 5 p.m. Don't know who with. DK DFS, I assume. He and I will break it down for an hour. Live before lock from 6 to 7. Playback from 7 to 8. You're going to get 3 straight hours of NBA DFS coverage tonight. Lakers, 10-point favorites in New Orleans against the Pels. Lakers on the front end of the back-to-back. They get Milwaukee in Milwaukee tomorrow. No injury news of relevance here for the Lakers. Standard issue stuff. On the Pelicans side, standard issue. No Zion, no Poole. Same stuff we normally get. So let's get these minutes in. This should be a pretty easy one to do. Luka Doncic, 35 minutes. When will you spin the wheel for the folks who got the Thursday Night Football score right? Monday's video. That'll be in the Monday Night Football version. All right, Austin Reeves, 35 minutes. Actually, let's go 34. He did miss that 3-game stretch. We'll be a little safe. 29 for Marcus Smart. 34 for Rui. And then Ayton, 28. Do 24 for Laravia. 20 Vandy. 17 Connect. 15 Jackson Hayes. 4 left over. 2 to Bronny. 2 to Maxi. Kleba, that is. Now let's get the Pels. God, I hate this team so much. They're such garbage. Oh, they're so bad. Oh, we didn't look at this at the standings here. Minnesota's 1-0. Kings are 0-1. We know what needs to happen here. And Minnesota beat the living crap out of the Jazz by 40 in their first. So they've got a really nice point differential. And then for this one, Lakers are 1-0. Pels are 0-1. We also know what needs to happen here. Lakers need a big win here. So wouldn't be surprised if they really try to turn the screws. Is DeAndre as bad as he was last year at protecting the rim? I haven't looked. We need, next time the Lakers play on like a slate with only a couple games, we could take that kind of deep dive. It's like a Tuesday, Thursday question, you know? All right, Fears, 28, not 38. Herb Jones, 31. Nah, 32. Trey Murphy's just 36. Sadiq Bey, 4 straight starts, 31. 30. Looney, oh my God. 16, who cares? All right, Alvarado, 22. Derek Queen. So Yves Missy's just... Wait, did he get tossed? Or is that PV? Did Yves Missy get tossed in their last game? Am I remembering that right? Someone will know. My memory's shit. Thank you. I don't know. What's the deal there now with him? I mean, Derek Queen for 24 feels about right. I don't really know what they're doing with Yves Missy right now. I gotta look at that popcorn machine rotation quickly. Okay, so he was just the ass end of the rotation one way or the other. Yeah, I'm not even gonna bother projecting him. 14, Jordan Hawkins. 12, Carlo Makovich. 14, Micah Peavy. Oh, it's still 228. Holy shit. Okay, that's fine. That's easy. 26, Derek Queen. 16, Hawkins. 14, Makovich. 16, Peavy. Now we have 4 left. I will give you those 4 minutes, Yves Missy, just to turn the screws. All right. I guess we got to look at rates here for this Pels team, unfortunately. I'm going to blank everything I have here. So we need New Orleans with Poole and Zion off. Murphy 25 usage, Queen 25 usage, Fears 27. All right. Close, actually. That was way closer than I was expecting it to be out of the jump. Good. That's exciting. That worked out faster than I thought it would. Bay to 20 is the only other little tweak I need to make here. Herb Jones gets no usage. Just got to bump up Sadiq Bey a hair. There we go. That ain't bad. Ain't bad at all. I guess I should probably just... What's Looney's usage been? Like -6? Holy shit, it's actually 14. All right, yeah, that'll work. That ain't shabby. That ain't too shabby. And I guess I gotta get... Nope, I already did that. Good to know. Shoot them free throws, Herb. All right, let's look at the Lakers, because obviously this is going to be pretty interesting. We are going to be very curious on what Luka Doncic and Austin Reeves look like here. I haven't looked at their salaries yet. So in games where Luka Doncic starts and Austin Reeves starts, only 6 of them. 38% usage for Luka, 28% usage for Austin Reeves, and then everybody else just dies a slow death. I've got 40 and 32 right now, so obviously that needs to come down dramatically. Luka by 2, Reeves by 4. And realistically, I need to be a little bit lower than that. 38 and 28 is what I said, right? Yeah. What has Ayton been? 17. Auto calcs to 16. That's not bad. Under repping him, that's for sure. Is Laravia actually 18? No, way lower. Perfect. Well, it's definitely liking Reeves. So that's 18 shot attempts for Reeves, and I've got him in for 34 minutes. Reeves is taking 18 and a half shot attempts, which means that I'm going to be high here on Reeves by a lot, actually. Oh, it might be a free throw thing. How many free throws is he shooting? 10.8. That should help. Yeah, that brings him down to a bit more of a reasonable location. Is Luka averaging 11 plus? Yeah, 14 times. That one's actually a good number. What's Luka's assist rate? 10.5 and 10.5 on Luka and Reeves. That's crazy. Yeah, I'm very light on Luka's assists. I got to look into that one. Probably a Reeves issue. Don't love Ayton today, though, that's for sure. Although it is a great matchup for him. Let's look at this. Might be a little light on Luka. We'll have to take a peek. Jeremiah Fears is a problem. 4,800. Am I close to his props? A little heavy on his points, but nothing too crazy. Am I crazy on his rebounds? He's at 1.6 and 3.8. No, that's fine. Yeah, I like Fears. Not the first time I've said that, though. He's been a bit of a problem. It's more the New Orleans side. All the top value. Fears, Bay, Jones, Queen, Looney. Reeves is 8K. That's the move. Luka's 12K, Reeves is 8K. This one's easy for me. I want Austin Reeves at 8K if I'm taking something from the Lakers. Otherwise, everything else is on the Pels side. 2 to go. Final one for the DraftKings side, though. Clippers, Dallas. We're not going to spend a ton of time here. This is a 219 total. This is two of the worst offenses in the league. I don't think there's going to be anything here that looks great fantasy-wise. No Beal, no Kawhi. On the Dallas end, expected starting lineup for today: Brandon Williams, Max Christie, Cooper Flagg, PJ Washington, AD. However, Washington, questionable. AD, questionable. Lively, questionable. This is important because based on those Q tags, we might actually get value for Dallas. But we have no idea really how to handle this right now. 33 minutes in back-to-back games for Brandon Williams since he started starting. I can't go to that, but I'm going to go to 30. Max Christie just has been starting and playing 31. Cooper Flagg plays 33 a night, maybe 34. By the way, Dallas and the Clips won their first game. Dallas lost theirs. So if Dallas loses, they're out. PJ Washington, realistically, if he's playing, it's 30 plus, you would think. I'm going to get him in for 30 right now. I don't have a damn clue what to do with AD, so I'm going to give him 28 minutes. I couldn't even begin to guess. Same story for like Derek Lively. I'm going to go 16 for Lively and 16 for Daniel Gafford. I don't know what to do. That shouldn't be all that surprising. Najee Marshall gets 23. Klay Thompson gets 18. D'Angelo Russell gets 15. And that's all I can give out right now for Dallas until we get their news. Clearly, this news is incredibly important. Let's get the Clippers minutes now, too. And then we have one left to go. All right, Harden. This is easy enough. He's just getting 36. Chris Dunn has started the last 5 games. Something in the 27 or 28 range makes some sense for him. I'm going to go 27. Derek Jones Jr. just starts. Plays about 26 minutes a night. John Collins has started the last 2. That's been tricky, but at the very least, this is looking like a 26 or 27 mark with upside. And then 31 for Zoo. Batum playing about 20 a night. Brook Lopez playing 16. Chris Paul out of the rotation. Sad days. Sad days. Still have a boatload of minutes to hand out. Okay. Guess Cam Christie's probably going to get like 16. Kobe Brown gets like 12. Bogey gets 20. And then they'll let Chris Paul play in the NBA Cup. Now, rates for the Clippers I actually want to look at because there's no Kawhi, and that's very different. Kawhi Leonard did not play in the game. 0-5. Zoo at 22.5% usage. Harden at 29. Brook Lopez at 24. John Collins not nearly as high as I would have expected, but let's make sure we've got Harden set. I do have him in at 29. He's showing as 31. Let's bring that down. Still too high. There it is, 29. Collins to 23, Zoo to 21. All of that looks fine. Dunn and Jones get nothing. I guess Derek Jones probably has to come down, doesn't he? No, he's spot on the number. That's fine. Any bench idiots? No. All right, that feels pretty good. A little high on Chris Dunn. Not something I want to like actualize unless he's got a great price tag. Let's look at Dallas rates. I'm not even going to really go crazy here. Nobody's off that I see. We're just going to have to wait this out for Dallas. That's too many Q tags. It's no different than... Who the fuck was it? Oh, Detroit. So this is the final game of the DK slate. And at least for right now, there is some value. Maybe I'm a little heavy on Chris Dunn, but at 4,300, I don't hate that value. Cam Christie's not going to get played, but decent point per dollar play. Derek Jones Jr. for 4,100, small forward, power forward is interesting. I like a $7,100 Zubats, depending on how this breaks. We don't know how many centers the Mavs are going to have, but if they have to play Dwight Powell, that's good for Zoo. Maybe a little value on Bogey. TBD on some of this Clippers value, that's for sure. Guys, we're going to make it through. Final game, Warriors Spurs. They just played 2 days ago. Now they play again today. Warriors are 2.5 point dogs, 234 total. And if we look at the standings, Warriors lost their first game, got destroyed. Spurs won their first game, beat the Rockets. Warriors out if they lose. So, Warriors. Kuminga questionable. Expected starting lineup: Steph Curry, Will Richard, Moses Moody, Jimmy Butler, Draymond Green. So, you know, we got to deal with that. New starting lineups here. This is the same starting lineup that they ran out against San Antonio 2 days ago. Steph Curry's going in for 31 minutes. I mean, realistically, I think I can only do 22 for Will Richard. I think 25 for Moody makes sense. I think 31 for Jimmy Butler makes sense. 28 for Draymond. 21 for Horford. 28 for Pods. 26 for Kuminga. Might be low. 15 for Buddy Hield. 12 for Post. No. 7 for Post. 6 for Gary Payton. Could need a tweak there. San Antonio now. Final one. Other than Dylan Harper, no injury news. Fox, Castle, Vassell, Barnes, Wembanyama. Fox is just playing real minutes. I'm going 35. If it's 36, it's not crazy. If it's more, it's not crazy. Stephon Castle, 33. Devin Vassell, 32. Barnacle of the Bay, 28. Victor Wembanyama, 35. Keldon Johnson, 22. Julian Champagny, 22. Luke Cornett, 21. Jeremy Sohan, 10. Lindy Waters, 2. And that is the final rotation. That one covers San Antonio. We'll take one quick peek at rates. And that'll be it. Just out of curiosity, San Antonio, De'Aaron Fox, played in game. We got 3. Wemby, 33% usage. Castle, 25. Fox, 24. 25, 21, 30 right now. We got to get Castle locked in as well. 25, no, way too high. Still too high. 25, 25, 30. Go a little bit higher on Wimb. Now what is Devin Vassell's usage rate? 14 on the year. That's basically where I have him. That's crazy. Is Barnacle 10? 14 as well. Okay. Yeah, I think those guys are just going to have to hemorrhage it. What's Keldon? 18, and then everybody else's butt. Sohan? Yeah, let's kill Sohan. That should help. All right, that's going to be San Antonio. One look at Golden State. And then let's just make sure that this is a situation where Steph plays, Butler plays, and Draymond plays. The 3 real dudes. Butler 22, Steph 33. Everybody else is like 20 or below. Steph is good. Butler is good. Everybody else seems about good. But Kuminga's usage rate in this scenario is 22, so I got to bring him down. Done. And might be too high from a minutes projection. We're going to take him to 25. Get that other minute onto Gary Payton. Sure. Or not. There we go. All right, let's look at this one. Actually, I got to look at it here because these guys don't have salaries on my screen. Final game. Just to take a peek at it. You know, got Steph projected for 41. That looks good. Nobody looks too crazy. Might be over on Pods, might be over on Kuminga, but I don't hate it. I like those guys off the bench. More creation. I think I'm underrepresenting Stephon Castle's assists. 12.5 per 100. I got it at 8.2, but that's not going to be the same rate with Fox around, right? What is his usage rate now that Fox is here? Fox, Wemby, Castle. Sorry, not usage rate, assists per 100. Castle. 16. Oh my God, it did stick around. Fox, not the same sort of use or assist rate here. All right, I'm going to bump Castle up. That should help close that gap. Yeah, sure did. Sure did. Alrighty, folks, that's going to be it. 1 hour, 51 minutes in the books. 9 games up, 9 games down. Here's what's going to happen. Projections will be up on the Stokastic website sometime in the next 15, 20 minutes. After that, look for the NBA Strategy VOD, where I will break down every single one of these games. We'll share the boom bust tool on the screen. We'll get a very concise 15-minute breakdown. I'll have my starting 5 as well. NFL Strategy Show coming up in about 8 minutes. Good luck, everybody. It's fun. This week is done. I'll see you guys Monday morning, but first I'll see you on the deeper dive.